She laughed as the waiter poured the wine, the crystal glasses chiming as they touched. The sound of cameras snapping echoed around the room. 12 years of marriage, 12 years of knowing her. Her eyes, her smile, the subtle signals she gave away. And yet, something was off. Not in a dramatic, movie-like way. No sudden lightning strikes or intense violin music. Just a slight, almost imperceptible shift beneath the surface. Her hand hovered over my glass for a beat too long. Her smile wavered, briefly, as it settled on her lips. Then, the woman appeared. I was washing my hands in the restroom, the mirror reflecting a stranger where I used to be. The door creaked open, and she walked in, mid-30s, brunette, eyes sharp and cold. "Your wife just put something in your drink," she said, flat and unemotional. As if telling someone they'd dropped their wallet. I didn't react. I didn't blink. She simply shrugged as if it was no longer her problem. She laughed as she spoke to someone else, saying I'd be asleep through the night. She found it amusing. That laugh was what stayed with me. I nodded, a simple acknowledgement. I walked out of the restroom, my hands still trembling, though dry. At the table, I smiled, picked up the wrong glass, and swapped them. Her lipstick hadn't even touched hers yet. 10 minutes later, she clutched her stomach. The room grew quiet as her laughter shifted into hacking coughs. "I need some air," she gasped. I offered to help her, but she waved me off. I stood there, observing her like a scientist in a lab, studying the subject. I sipped the wine. Her wine. Nothing. I knew exactly what it meant. She wanted me unconscious, not dead. That would have been too clean. No, she needed time. Time to move money, to shift blame, to be elsewhere by morning. I began replaying the last 6 months in my mind. The sudden concerns about my blood pressure. The new tea she started brewing every night. The locked drawer in her study. Her late-night walks, always alone. She said she needed space. I gave it to her, and she filled it with secrets. Her phone used to lie face up on the counter, but over time, it started turning face down, then disappeared into her pocket, then under her pillow. It wasn't one big thing, it never is. It's erosion. Slowly, imperceptibly, you find yourself standing in an empty room, holding the shattered fragments of a life that no longer belongs to you. I didn't confront her. I studied her. 4 weeks. I bought a burner phone, installed a keylogger, cloned her GPS. I watched her drive to an address that wasn't her sister's. I waited outside that townhouse for 3 hours, in the rain. I saw him. Younger, fit, eager, the type who believes in second chances. I wasn't angry. I was fascinated by the mechanics of betrayal, by the method, the how. Her texts were fragments of a story. "He's going to get suspicious soon, after the anniversary." Anniversaries. Some people celebrate with flowers, others with poison. I ordered a DNA test. Our daughter. My daughter. And I waited. Waited like a man sharpening a blade he wasn't sure he'd use. The results came back sealed. I didn't open them right away. That kind of envelope is only opened once. It was a Tuesday. She was folding laundry when I placed it on the table. I watched her eyes flicker to it, her hands pausing mid-motion. That pause told me everything. "I haven't opened it," I said calmly, my voice too calm, the kind of calm that hangs in the air just before an execution. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Trembling, she picked up the envelope, ripped it open too quickly. She read it twice, and then the breakdown began. First her shoulders, then her breath, and finally her eyes. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered, but I already knew. I took the envelope and read the line she couldn't say aloud. Probability of paternity, 0%. No rage, no tears. Just clarity. That night, she slept on the couch. I let her. I didn't say a word. She wanted time. I gave it to her. The next morning, I made her coffee, just how she liked it. Black, 1 sugar, in the same cup I always used. She stared at it as if it might hiss. I didn't drink that wine, she said, her voice shaking. I smiled and replied, I know. I slid the manila envelope across the table. Not the DNA test. She already knew about that. This one contained documents, photos, bank statements, proof of the affair, hidden transactions. I'd sent copies to her lawyer and her mother. She didn't speak. No tears, but something inside her broke. Not with a crash, but the soft, subtle sound of glass cracking under weight. I wanted us to be over, she said, her voice small, regretful. You could have just said so. 2 days later, she moved out. I didn't ask where. I didn't follow. I didn't care. The house is quiet now. Some might say too quiet. But silence is honest. It doesn't smile while twisting the knife. I drink coffee at the table where she once poisoned me. I sleep in the bed where she once lied. I keep the DNA test in a drawer I never open. Some truths don't need to be repeated. Some ghosts are better left undisturbed. I see my daughter on weekends. I love her. Love isn't always about blood. Sometimes, it's about the absence of lies. The last thing she said to me before she walked out the door was, "You've changed." She was right. I'm not the man who trusted her anymore. I'm the man who watched her fall apart and didn't flinch,